Hey guys, it's Hink here, and today I wanted to bring up a topic that's coming up more and more often about, is enlargement becoming mainstream? I really don't think it is. I don't think it ever will be, but today we're going to talk all about it, so stay tuned. All right, guys, it's Hink here again. And so today we're going to be talking about basically is enlargement practices, are they becoming mainstream? And basically, I'm going to give you the reasons why I think we are not going to ever become mainstream. And so part of this is stemmed from the fact that, our sub is growing like crazy, getting bigger. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. But also that we've been featured on things like the Daily Beast, which I'll put up a little screenshot here, and even the Young Turks, which I had actually never heard of before, but I'm an old man, and this YouTube thing is new to me. But let's just get into it. So the first reason is because this is too taboo, okay? And so, probably you guys are too young, but there's a Jay-Z song called 22 Twos, and so I'm going to be kind of riffing off that today. But the first one is, it's too taboo. And so what do I mean by that? Guys, you're literally like, by yourself pulling on your like you're just not going to ever become mainstream. Guys are super nervous about doing it in the first place. They keep it super hidden. And it's like, for whatever reason, better or for worse, guys have been conditioned to think that as men, I'm not trying to go down any like red pill nonsense or anything like that, but we are supposed to be like, keep our emotions inside. And, if we're insecure about stuff, we need to just suck it up. And, modern media can make small penis jokes all they want. And we just have to sit there and take it. I just don't think it's ever going to come to a point where it's going to be accepted, where you can be like, yes, I do penis enlargement, and people are going to be like, hey, good for you trying to better yourself. It's just not going to happen, guys, at least in the foreseeable future that I can see. And I also think that any guys that actually do get gains, are going to be fake natties about it. If I were to ever be asked like, hey, your a little bigger, and it's discolored. Hey, have you been doing PE? I would not be like, oh yeah, I do PE. I mean, I would to you guys, obviously, but under the guise of this mask, which you don't even know my real identity. And so it's too taboo. It's never going to be accepted. Honestly, even things like women getting boob jobs. Why do you think the Kardashians are so closet about all the surgeries that they've had? Because it's taboo. And it's not like if they were to say, oh yes, I've had all this stuff, that people would be like, hey, good for you. I'm proud of you for being honest. They would lose, probably millions of followers and endorsements and all that stuff just for being honest. But anyways, on to the next. The next reason it's never going to be mainstream is it's too taboo. God damn it, I just said that. There are too many doubters, okay? And so even this Young Turks video or whatever it was, it's just wrought with people just off the jump without doing any kind of research. They're just, nope, penis enlargement doesn't work. Nope, it just, I don't want to hear it. It just doesn't work. There's not even any room for debate. If you were to go on to, any of these small D problems, average D problems, and say, be like, hey, penis enlargement is real, you'd get banned immediately. And so if you go to even like sex subreddits, I got banned just for bringing up the topic of penis size. Literally, that's one of their rules. Do not bring up penis size. And so like when people are conditioned, and when any of these more mainstream outlets are going to say, nope, it doesn't work. Like, I don't want to hear it. You guys are crazy. Like you literally can't engage people in debate. I'm sure many of you guys on here have actually tried it. And it's just like an exercise in futility, because no matter what you say, people are going to say, no, I don't believe that. It doesn't matter. And so there's just too many doubters for enough people to ever say, oh yeah, it works. And now I will say that there is slightly, like if you look at, I made a video about like Healthline, which is a major public base, like health information, as well as Cleveland Clinic. If you look up actual penis enlargement, they actually say that there is some evidence now, which is nice, but they still say basically the risks outweigh the benefits and it's not worth it. That's like people's universal conclusions. You do have some urologists like, I forgot the lady's name. I'll try to like put up a little bloop of it now, that actually say that, yes, there is some limited evidence that extenders work, but still, guys, even in the face of that, there's still this overwhelming, no, it doesn't work. And so there's just too many doubters. This one is the main reason, okay? Of all the reasons, it's too hard. It is too much work, guys. It's like the same reason why everybody's not walking around freaking with 5% body fat and jacked out of their minds. I mean, part of that is limited by genetics, but it's just too hard. It's too hard to do that. It's too hard to exercise and eat correctly, just like it's too hard to consistently like pull and tug on your or put it in these devices or do these different things that are going to actually lead to growth. And so there's so many guys that join the sub and, try it out for a week or two, and it's too hard and they quit. because, or the gains come too slowly, guys. It's literally just too much work. Think about this, okay? So my claim, at least, is that I've put on about, 1.2, 1.3 inches in 24 months of active PE, guys. 24 months. That equates to 0.05 inches per month. That's imperceptible, okay? But I was dedicated, I stuck to it, and I made the gains appropriately. But think about how slow that is. And your average person that, complains, oh my gosh, I'm a busy college student, I don't have time for this. People aren't going to try to make the time to do it. And on top of that, you can't just like go to the gym after work and do your PE. Like you have to find time in private to do it. And so it's just too much work. It's too hard for too slow return on investment. So guys, if you could take a second just to like this video, if you like any of the work that I do, it really does go a long way in helping out the channel. Lets me know that this stuff is worth my time. And of course, if you do like what I do, please like and subscribe. This is another big one, guys. There's too little like pure scientific evidence that this is going to be effective. I have scoured the internet and PubMed for literally years, and there's probably like 5 papers I could point to where I could say, this has pretty good evidence that this stuff works. The rest of it, I mean, even that stuff, it's actually wrought with flaws. I mean, anybody of a scientific mind could be like, here are the flaws of these papers. And even in the conclusions of these papers, they point out, they say, oh yeah, this is the flaw in these papers. This is the limit of evidence. And then there's things like the P. Long study by Dr. Brandeis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But even his study, number one, it's like corporate sponsored. And so he has like all of these things that he gets literally paid to promote. So there's inherent bias. And then on top of that, it's hard to actually, gosh, I forgot what he told me was a reason why he didn't get an abstract. I think it was because there was like a conflict of interest because of like the financial component to it. And so that paper showed that there was like major growth, but he literally barely got an abstract. Or no, he did. He got a poster. Just so you guys know, like major publications and stuff, you get like a presentation, like you go up on stage and you present your data. And if it's really, really revolutionary, you'll get like a keynote address. But he got literally a poster, meaning a poster for people to walk by and like read his results. That's if they even walk by to see it. And so, even these guys trying to push the field, it's still just getting absolutely shat on by the major like scientific powers that be. And so we're nowhere near getting like a real study. And then just think about how hard it would be to get people to volunteer, people with normal penis sizes to volunteer to strap their into a device or like pump or do these things in a format that can actually get published. Furthermore, I've talked about this before in one of my other videos, there's something called the IRB, the Institutional Review Board. And so if you did have a study to say like, I want to show that on people with just average sized penises without Peyronie's disease or anything like that, that there are enlargement techniques that work, the IRB is going to say, nope, we don't support that because there's too much literature that either say it's not effective or it doesn't work. And so it's a cycle of there's not enough literature to show it works, so you can't actually have the backing to get approval for a study that works. And so it's this vicious cycle, guys. But there's just not enough pure scientific data to objectively say, yes, this works. This is also something that I've talked about before. There are too many crappy before and after pictures. So even when guys are trying to say, and I don't blame these guys. No, I don't think there's very few people that are trying to intentionally mislead people with before and after pictures, but they will like push it in further or use a different angle or even use a different ruler and be like, look, I gained 0.3 inches in 3 months. And it's really just due to positioning, edema from like just coming out of the pump or something like that. And so when there's all of these like terrible progress pictures posted, people are going to be like, look, this clearly doesn't work because here's a before and after picture that is very poor quality that doesn't show proof of concept. And then, there's some guys that have actually photoshopped. There's some guys that have like clearly used different angles. And so you would think that, we have on our sub like over 65,000 members, that there would be more than like 3 people that I could think of that actually have like legit before and after pictures, but it's not. And so because they're like these very poorly documented before and after photos, or I don't blame a lot of guys don't want to show their on the internet for everybody to see for all eternity. And so even the guys that do have gains are reluctant to actually show those gains because they want to keep themselves anonymous. They want to keep their privates off the internet. You cannot fault them for that, but it just leads to this paucity of not only medical literature, but also a paucity, meaning there's a very little amount of actually good pictures for you to say, look, it works. Here's a guy who did it. Before we go on, guys, Vigor's back in stock on Amazon, okay? I already actually took my scoop. I like to do my dry scoop before this, but I literally took my scoop upstairs. And then Virility is sold out, guys. You will never see this formulation again. However, we do have Virility 2.0 coming out, which instead of using the soy in this product is going to be actually sunflower based. And so I think a lot of guys are going to be happy with that. So stay tuned. We should have this back in stock very soon. Check LeviathanSubs.com. Okay. Another thing is that there's too much bad history with Enlargement. There's too many scams. If you haven't seen my scam video, check it out. But there's too many, like, take these pills and you will put on 4 inches in 4 weeks. And because of that, like, all of PE gets lumped in, PE meaning P enlargement, gets lumped into those guys that, you know, that put out these fake stuff or use photoshopped images or have these pills that clearly don't work. And so people say, look, this is a scam. This clearly doesn't work because these crappy pills didn't work clearly, so it's a scam. And so we get lumped into that. Honestly, guys, there's just too little like adoption of PE. You know, these techniques have been around, I don't know how long, at least like Good Looking Loser, Thunder's Place, PE Gym or something like that. You know, these places have been around for a while. And, you know, we're on Reddit, you know, like I said, we have like 65,000 subs, but if you look at to see who's actually active, it's like maybe 500 to 700. So many of those, like, you know, subs are basically defunct burner accounts that people created, tried it for a while and got off. And so you might see our numbers rising, but it's just not like everybody is doing this. And, you know, also think about this. So let's say, just for purposes of this, let's say there's 6 billion people in the world, okay? Of that, let's say half are men, 3 billion. Of that, let's just say people in age like 18 to, let's say 50, let's just call that, or even 60, let's just call that 1 billion. So that 1 billion men. And then of that, let's say half of them have access to internet. Let's say that's 500 million men, okay? Of those men, there's 65,000 on our subreddit of 500 million. Like, think about that proportionally, guys. It's I know it seems like more and more people are becoming aware. Some people are mentioning it on TikTok or even Instagram. But guys, there's just, for all of those aforementioned reasons, this is never going to become mainstream anytime soon, okay? So, well, I mean, that's basically the conclusion of this video. I wish you guys would stop worrying about it. There's a select few, I would say for every, this is just a rough estimate, I'm pulling it out of my butt here. For every 100 men that actually learn about PE, I would say that there's maybe 10 that actually want to try it. And of those 10, there's maybe 1 that sticks with it, that actually continues and actually enlarges. I mean, so that's roughly based on that, you know, BS analogy proportions wise. It's like 1% of men, guys. So I wish people would stop getting all worked up about this being mainstream. Personally, I think that the men that have like the most dysmorphia, the most concerns, the ones that have the most to gain from it are going to be the ones that are going to find out about it and stick to it. Like me, for example. I was desperate to do anything to get bigger, you know, oh, no pun intended. But, you know, and here I am now. I've made my gains, and I just know how much of literally a revolutionary, life-changing difference this has made for me. And so I want to help other guys that want to have some of that same, like, to get over some of the issues that they have been having with their self-esteem and their confidence, and, you know, can't watch certain videos because they're worried there's going to show a D in the video and their girl's going to be with them and they're going to think their girl wants bigger. Like, I want to help guys get over that, okay? Even if it's just size statistics, whatever it may be. But if you do want to engage in this, you know, learn how to do it safely and learn how to do it correctly. And yeah, you can make significant life-changing gains. Thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, Vigor's back in stock. We got the Virility 2.0 coming amongst like things like a testosterone booster, an anti-fibrosis drug, and even a nerve reversal drug. So stay tuned to LeviathanSubs.com or join us on Leviathan Wellness on our Leviathan Wellness on our subreddit. If you need to reach me, my Patreon.kink. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.